It's time, guys. We are going to build my travel wardrobe capsule today for Scotland. It's going to be a challenge. I am packing 11 days worth of outfits in only one carry-on. So we're going to talk all about how to build a travel wardrobe capsule to pack very minimally and get the most out of all those extra outfits from just a few pieces. Believe me, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm kind of new to this, but I'm going to show you and demonstrate through my struggles here in packing. I am packing for September, so think fall weather in Scotland. I do have some previous videos out there too, but this one's going to focus just on the travel wardrobe piece. So let's get into it. We are going to try to fit everything into this carry-on. And I know that looks really big. I have measured everything. I am going to be putting it in packing cubes, so we'll show you how the packing cubes go in here, just like Tetris. Now I will also have a personal carry-on item too. I'm going to put more of my hygiene stuff and things for the flight, all of that in that bag. This one's going to be more for clothes, and we're only covering the clothes and the wardrobe today. I will bring you guys one on just my hygiene bag, and we'll have another one on how I pack everything in all of these suitcases for the final run. But for today, it's just the wardrobe piece. Now, there are a lot of packing systems and different techniques and methods out there. There's the Sudoku packing method. That's probably the most popular. And what it is you take like 3 to 4 bottom pieces, 3 to 4 top pieces, a couple of outerwear pieces and shoes, and then it's like a tic-tac-toe board where you try to kind of match them across the board, and you create different outfits where you wear a different shirt with one pants one day and then with another. And so you end up with only a few pieces, but you can create like 15 outfits or so. I'm not going to follow that 100% because I'm not quite that primal. I need a little bit more than that, but I'm going to kind of follow the same idea. And I'm going to need more because of layering with Scotland. Also, I'm going to be spending a couple of days still in Florida. We're going to stay one extra day before we fly out. And another day we'll have a hotel before we come home. So I am going to be in Florida a couple of days. This is where I live, where it's very hot, and it'll still be extremely hot in September. And then on the plane is a whole different realm as well. And then there's Scotland, where it will be cold. But then it's going to be colder in some areas than others. So part of it is I'm building a little extra on for that too. Now I also have this little model. It's a wardrobe capsule that my friend Angie made for me. She is the one coordinating the trip. I've been with her before. She's kind of an expert at Scotland, and she keeps me in line on how much I pack. So she made this for me to try to keep me in line, and I thought it was brilliant because it's a lot like my style, very boho romantic. So I'm kind of modeling a little bit after it. However, there are a few critiques I have with it. One is when it has print like this, it's hard to match with everything else. I don't have a top and a bottom with print that are going to match each other. They're just going to clash. And then the shoes, I'm not going with flats. I think I would just be way too cold. I think this one's a little bit more doable because everything is solid colors minus the flats again. All right, so as you can see, down in the suitcase, I do have everything in the packing cubes. We have a different bag for different things. This is my pants and outerwear bag. I'm gonna take 4 bottoms. I'm not even gonna mess around with dresses, skirts, and all of that. I know in Scotland, I've been there before. I'm just not gonna deal with that. My legs would be cold. I would almost wanna plan for like shorts underneath if the wind's blowing. We're just gonna go with pants for everything. So I'm gonna go a little more than 3. We're gonna do 4 pairs of pants. I'm there for 11 days though. So the idea with this is I'm gonna be wearing each pair of pants probably 3 times. Almost 3 times on most of them. Yuck. And you can do laundry while you're there, but I'm not going to be dependent on it for this, so I am gonna pack some extra little dryer sheets, as I talked about in a previous video, things like air freshener, little sachets, things like that, just to kind of help with any odor control. I mean, I feel like with jeans and stuff, you can rewear those and you're fine anyway, but I didn't really want to go more than like 3 times. So I'm bringing 4 pairs of pants. So I am going to bring a couple of pairs of jeans to start with. One has wider bottoms, as you see. But I do want to say, be careful about how long your pants are. I would go with longer pants and jeans, not the shorter flowy ones that are a little more like almost capri. You want long enough that it's coming down to your ankles and covering, because you're going to want that in Scotland. So I have one pair of jeans that are going to be wide leg, and then I have another pair of jeans that are going to be straight leg. That way it gives me a little variation, not always dealing with wide legs versus straight legs. It just makes a difference in like your shoes and socks and how things look and how you style them. Then I'm going to be bringing a pair of pants. Now these are from Halara. I'm not going to say that they are the best fabric for Scotland, but I think these are the best fabric for Florida. Warmer climates, because this is a waffle knit material, so it's a lot more lightweight. They're not super moisture wicking for Scotland. I really would recommend more like cargo pants that are like more water resistant, though I have had a few folks comment that they get tired of hearing how much it rains in Scotland, but that was my experience there, and I'm going to be prepared for that kind of weather no matter what. But what I am bringing these for is comfort for like the plane ride. It's going to be an overnight flight, you know, red-eye flight. So I would like something I could possibly sleep in. This could be an option, and it's a little lighter weight. Also for the days when we're actually in Florida still. But then I think that I could still wear it probably in like Edinburgh and some of the borders area and the places where it's not quite as cold yet. So it gives me an option for layering and for a little bit hot climate on this trip. And then last, I'm gonna pack a pair of yoga pants, like super stretchy leggings. I do want to say, if you're going to pack leggings and yoga wear, definitely make sure it's thick enough. Don't get the really thin, frail ones. You want something nice and thick that's still going to keep you warm, because I did make the mistake of having a thin pair of yoga pants the first time in Scotland, and I even wore it in Inverness of all places, which was much colder up in the north, and I was freezing. So you don't want something too thin on your legs. But this is so that I still have options. I can sleep in this comfortably on the plane. It goes with everything. It's gonna be great for layering. So that gives me that option too. And then we're gonna pair that and mix and match them with my tops. All right, the tops are where I get a little extra, I'm not gonna lie. So instead of your typical 3 to 4 top pieces, I think I'm gonna have 7 total. But that's still a limited amount for me for a trip of 11 days. So I'm just gonna say it. I said what I said. So that's where we come to this packing cube, and this one's all my tops. What I've planned is 4 more long sleeve, colder weather shirts or layering options. And then I have 3 that are more warm weather for the Florida days, or for layering underneath, or for when I just get hot. And those are all gonna be tank tops. So these are my 3 tank tops, and the reason I chose tank tops, and don't feel bad about bringing them extra, is because they're really thin. They're not taking up a whole lot of room in my suitcase. And so I'm gonna bring one in every color here pretty much, that'll mix and match with everything. So I have a nude, like tan color, and then I have a brown one. I will admit the brown one may not go with the grayish color pants as well, but we can kind of work around that. And then I have a black one. So obviously, are probably going to be my Florida days. It could also work for just if I need to like run out in the hotel or something really quickly somewhere and, you know, throw it on. And I have kind of a base top. It will also probably be on my flight, and they can also be used to layer. So I can have this and then other things on top of it while I'm in Scotland. So if I start off really cold, but then I get hot, I can always take off the upper layer, wrap it around my waist, and what have you. Then we're gonna talk about the warmer pieces and more upper layers. First, we start off with a sweater. Now I know these are getting wrinkled. I need to re-iron them again. So maybe rolling up isn't the best, but this one is a neutral piece that kind of goes with everything too. It's right on the board on whether it goes with a gray pair of pants once again, but this is going to be keeping you warm, goes with everything, but you can also layer it. So I could always wrap this around my waist too if I need to take it off, or wear it alone by itself one day. And then next we are just going to bring a plain black long sleeve shirt. This is fairly thermal too, very warm. It can be mixed and matched with everything, but it can also be put under things too to layer. So take your pick. Similarly, we have a white top. So same idea. This is long sleeve as well, but it's gonna mix and match with everything because it's white. And the fourth piece is gonna be a flannel top. This is great for layering, and I'm gonna actually probably wear this on the plane. I'm gonna wrap it around my waist, as well as one of my outer pieces we'll talk about in a minute. But the idea with this is if I get chilly, this is more comfortable to just wrap around me than the outerwear is. And it's easy to wrap it around my waist walking in or wear it on my arms. One trick too to packing all of this easier is to always wear your heaviest pieces on the plane, so then you're not packing it in your suitcase. But that's not always comfortable, especially if you're leaving from and coming back to Florida. But I want a way to be comfortable while I'm on the plane. So this is gonna be worn on, but of course, this is great for layering. So you can wear this as a shirt by itself without anything under it if you want one day, or I could wear this around one of the tank tops as a jacket, or I can wear it with my outerwear too on top of it also. If I start off cold, but then I end up warm, I can wrap it around my waist. So this I think is essential, and I think you need a flannel for Scotland. Those are all the tops, but then we have our outerwear. I knew I needed to stick with just 2 pieces of outerwear, and this was really hard to narrow down. I did talk about this one in my previous video also. Definitely a rain jacket. Like I said, I think some said it doesn't necessarily always rain in Scotland, but in my case, in my experience, it definitely rained constantly when we were there, and we will be more over towards the west side a lot rather than the east and south. So from what folks were telling me that are there, they said it tends to rain more on the west side. So I am going to be prepared with a raincoat and that has a hood. And this, I could wear it around all of these other pieces, you know, just to repel the rain. I could also even wear it around my other outerwear we'll talk about in a minute, but this is the #1 essential. Last time I had blue and it was harder to match that to a lot of things. I think black's gonna go with like everything, so much easier. All right, this is where I started getting confused. I wasn't sure where to narrow it down, but I need to pare down. I can't bring it all. So I think I'm gonna stick with my heated vest. This is from Venustas that I talked about before, and this was kindly gifted to me, by the way. And I have a lot of info down in my caption about flying guidelines with it, because it does have a battery and you have to be careful, especially if you're checking a bag. So basically what I'm planning to do is I'm gonna wear this on going in onto the plane, because this is the bulkiest, heaviest thing. So hard to pack this. So I'm gonna wear it going onto the plane, but have the battery separate, because there's a battery that comes out of it that goes in the pocket here. And I will present the battery to TSA. And then that way it'll just already be out and easy to get through security. But I'm gonna wear this on the plane. But like I said, I didn't feel like this would be just super comfortable to sleep in on the plane. So that's where the flannel comes in. So I'm gonna be wearing probably the leggings or the gray pants with a tank top, the flannel around my waist, and this around me. And I will be warm going on. And then it's gonna come off and just go on my lap or something on the plane, or tuck it into my personal item. But the idea with this is it's gonna be heated apparel. So this is gonna be my hot, really warm item. And I think that because it's heated, it's enough heat that I can have it as a vest and not need all the extra outerwear between all of my layering. We're not going way up north this time, up into like Inverness and Isle of Skye and all that. So I think it's gonna be just the perfect amount of warmth for like kind of being in the Highlands, but not like way up north in the Highlands. Now I really wanted to pack this extra really fun, warm, kind of flannel kind of coat with a big hood. It's all long, it's so cozy, and I felt like this would be so perfect for Scotland, but it's really extra and heavy, and that would be a third item, and there's no room. There's just no room, so like, nope, it's gone. Next we get to the shoes. I also knew that I needed to probably limit it to like 2 pairs of shoes. That was really hard too. So this time I do have a shoe bag. This is the shoe packing cube. And as I mentioned before, these are the #1 most essential piece and footwear I can bring, and that is hiking sneakers. This is gonna be pretty much what I wear all the time, everywhere we go, because they have a lot of tread. They help repel a lot of the mud and the rain and are good for walking too. But always make sure that you break them in first, because there's nothing worse than going somewhere and you've never worn the shoes before and then they hurt your feet and you got blisters. So I got to make sure that I'm walking around with these things for a while here before I go. These are going to be the main shoes. So it was my second pair that I was confused about. I really wanted to bring my Uggs because I felt like they're nice and warm and comfy. I love how they look. They're so cute. They certainly don't repel water though. But I was thinking more for the plane ride. I could slip my feet in and out easily and get comfy. For like the drive down, same thing, slip in and out. Then they could serve as almost slippers when we're in our Airbnb or hotel, keep my feet warm. It wouldn't be for like a lot of the walking, but it'd be more for like the plane, for we're not out doing hikes or something and walking around the town. So I'm just gonna go with a pair that are regular sneakers. They're kind of lightweight and comfy. This is more for walking the hotel, for the Florida part. Obviously another pair that are kind of off-white, so not going to be as great for like trekking out in the mud, but this is going to be more for maybe like the city, being comfortable on the plane, being comfortable in the airport. They're easy to slip on and off, and they go with kind of everything being kind of off-white. So that's going to probably be my extra pair. Then we also have accessories. So the extra things to keep me a little more warm, to add some layers, and to like mix it up with the look of the outfit too, just to be a little extra cute. This is where I can play a little more. The first thing, we talked about the heated gloves also before. Now, this one I will admit I'm a little concerned about because they are pretty bulky. So that's something that does take a little more room, and these are also heated as well. So these you can take the battery out of also. These are also from Venustas and were kindly gifted. So again, I'll just present both the batteries with them, but that's a little something extra to keep my hands warm. And I got them in black, so they're gonna go with everything. I'm also, of course, bringing a beanie. I definitely recommend a beanie for Scotland. I wore a beanie the first time, like everywhere I went. We're just gonna go with black, and it matches everything. But what I'm bringing extra that I probably don't need is my cute little headband, and this is so adorable because it'll go around your head, like around your ears, and keep them warm too, and it just adds a cute little touch. And maybe this will add a little extra pop of color a couple of days when I'm just all in all black and brown or whatever. It's just something to be a little different color. And then, as I talked about before, my sister is actually crocheting me a scarf as we talk. It's going to be the color tan, so I will also wrap up more with a scarf, and it can also double as like a shawl for the plane, as like a blanket or what have you too, so kind of versatile. So those are the extra little pieces that don't add a lot more room in my suitcase, but that will give you extra warmth and extra layering. And last, we have our socks and underwear bag. Now, I'm not going to show you guys my underwear. Let's just say that's one place we're not going to skimp on. We're not going to reuse, all right? But so this will be for underwear and all that. I obviously don't have it packed. But socks, we did talk about the importance of really warm socks, and I really recommended merino wool that are moisture wicking, all of that. And then several of you recommended a smart wool. So that sounds great, but I do already have a few pairs of socks I'd gotten. I'm going to be packing certainly compression socks because, as we mentioned, I'm recovering still from an injury, a broken ankle. And this is something I didn't even know. One of you guys told me you got to be careful with that because you're at increased risk of blood clots on the plane. Great to know. And compression socks are just great when you're traveling anyway, and when you're flying especially. So I'll have a couple of pair of compression socks, and these will keep you warm too. I will also have a couple of pair of pretty thick socks too that look kind of cute and scrunched with your hiking sneakers I'm gonna have to wear, or my tennis shoes. And then I'm gonna bring just a couple of other pairs of socks that are a little thinner too, more for Florida and more comfy for maybe the plane. An assortment of socks. Socks are key. That's all the pieces. So what we do at this point is we take all of these pieces and we mix and match them. Everything should match everything. The gray pants are the only ones that are a little so-so. You don't really always want to put like really browns and tans with the gray, but I think it's good enough. I can wear all of the pairs of pants with all of the tops. They all match each other. and I can wear the outer layers. They all match each other too. You can build it with 3 or 4 layers or just one, however you need. And then this is going to help for the multiple weather situations I'm dealing with, multiple climates, going from really hot Florida to really cold Scotland. And I have just a few pieces, but multiple outfits that should last me for the full 11 days. So I think we have a system. Hopefully this was helpful if you were trying to build yours as well and to get an idea of the pieces that you need for Scotland. Definitely check out my prior videos. I have the one I just did recently, like I mentioned, but I also have one that just talks about generally the typical things you're going to need in Scotland for that climate around September. Definitely stick around and pop the subscribe because we have lots more Scotland coming. I'll be bringing all the vlogs to you. We're going to do some more packing as we get ready. I've got a checklist coming too, so you don't want to miss it all. Good luck with your packing if you're heading there too, and I will catch you guys all on the next one. Bye!